When the pressure was on to make money, I found myself catering my art towards what was mainstream and what I thought would sell. Doing that actually burnt me out, and I actually stopped creating for a long time. And I caught the same thing happening when I started tattooing. I had to take a pause and really look at what was happening and why it was happening, and how I could make art I was passionate about and still sell and make money. Hello, everyone. My name is Adora. I'm a freelance artist and a professional tattoo artist. I've been drawing my entire life, even before I could read. My art has been an integral part of me and my identity. I wanted to sit and chat about my experiences and the lessons I've learned from creating art that did not genuinely resonate with me, where I just made art based on what I thought other people would like and what they would want to buy, or just to pump out content because of the pressures from social media or business.
Growing up, I always created from the heart, made whatever I wanted to in the way I wanted to, because it was just for me. But once social media became the new platform for sharing art, all of these trends and emerging art styles can really influence and confuse you. When I entered the marketplace with my art, I found myself under a lot of pressure to perform and conform in order to make sales.
And from those experiences, I've learned to actually start creating art that I genuinely resonated with in a style that is truly mine and that I am passionate about. And over time, that passion will help you sustain your creativity and translate to a natural influx of sales and fans. So we all go through phases as an artist, especially when we're young or when we start getting more serious about our craft. We experiment with our styles, and techniques, and projects. That's just part of the journey and process. Well, what happens when the pressure to sell or perform gets in the way of you creating authentically? Here's one of the first instances as an adult trying to sell my art, where I had the dilemma of creating work I did not genuinely resonate with. When I found out I was accepted to vend at my first artist alley in an anime convention, I was so excited. But when that initial excitement wore off, the realization of, oh man, I need to be able to sell merchandise, that thought kicked in. And then came the pressure. Now, I've been a huge anime and video game fan since before I could read. Yeah, that's just the stuff that I grew up with. So, creating fan art was not an issue for me. It was something that I regularly did and was passionate about. But what I found myself doing was forcing myself to create fan art of characters I didn't really care for, but I knew that the general fans loved them, or I created it in a style that somewhat resembled my own but was more geared towards the fan base. I did this because I thought by doing this, it would make my merchandise sell. This went on for about like half a year of prepping for the event, and oh my god, I was just stressing. Overall, it did sell, but what it also did was burnt me out for over a year. I did not draw anything for over a year. My mind was fried, my creativity lost. That's a whole ass year of no progress. You only live once. That 1 year in my 20s could have been a golden year for my art, but no regrets, only lessons learned. So, cut to recent history, I actually caught myself doing the same thing. Okay, when I completed my tattoo apprenticeship, there's kind of this pressure to get clients in and have a few flash sheets all ready to go. In this early stage of my tattooing career, I was creating some designs that were either one, what I thought people would want according to tattoo trends, or two, designs that were in a toned down style compared to my own because I wanted to make it more digestible to the masses. And this was a pretty stressful time for me. Working at my day job while doing tattoos in my free time, I felt like I was not allowed to fail, so I needed to sell. But at the same time, mentally, I was exhausted and not passionate about the designs I was pumping out. When I realized that was happening, I took action immediately. I've been through too much BS to not learn a lesson. the first few times or so. I immediately started to shift gears, started drawing things that I wanted to draw in my own style, unapologetically, no watered down versions, no more checking on trends every day, made them as elaborate as I wanted. Because, I know the only way to make leveled up tattoos is to make leveled up artwork. There was an immediate shift in my mindset and my work. Drawing felt carefree again, and I felt like I didn't have to fit into a mold. I was excited to create, and it didn't feel like a chore anymore. And with that, I started just naturally creating more because I was passionate about it. As an artist, or really any profession, if you don't have passion for what you do, it becomes apparent in your work. And it can even lead to dissatisfaction in your own livelihood. I just redid my lip gloss because I ate a snack and a lot of it wiped off, and I didn't realize. So, creating art that you genuinely love keeps you motivated and inspired by aligning your creative process with your passions and interests, making it way more enjoyable and fulfilling. Can you imagine being a photographer, forcing yourself to do solely portraits because it pays? When your true passion is actually wildlife photography, that get old fast. This natural motivation comes from the joy and satisfaction of creating something that's meaningful to you, rather than you seeking external validation or rewards. Your personal connection and authentic expression in your work will fuel your imagination, which can help lead to new designs and just kind of bring on that continuous inspiration. As you see your skills improve and your unique style evolve, the positive emotional response will reinforce your desire to just keep creating, resulting in you building resilience against burnout. When you start creating authentically, your work will speak for itself. The people that is meant to be your audience will naturally be drawn to your work. So, have you been trying to find your people? Well, keep creating for you and hone those skills. After putting yourself out there and showing what you've been making, your ideal art appreciators or even customers will gravitate towards you. For me, when I started to block out all of the external noise and pressures to create what I thought I needed to, and just started to flow and create what I naturally wanted to, I found that I felt more connected to my illustrations. And in turn, people like me or people who liked the same things I did also felt drawn and connected to my work. I've done a few tattoos where my clients expressed to me how a design that I had made called to them because it connected to a certain aspect of their life, or how they saw that I liked a certain anime or TV show that they did too, and they liked my style, so they thought I'd be the perfect artist for them to get their tattoo done from. And that's honestly just peak of what being an artist is about to me. Being able to connect with others through a visual expression. When I started creating for me first, this really improved my relationship to myself and to my art. I felt more forgiving to myself when I made mistakes, and I let myself make things that weren't perfect. Perfectionism was a huge hurdle that I had to get over in my artistic journey, but learning to let go of that strict control gave me room for my art to blossom into its own. And it really contributed to my mental health overall, feeling a little more balanced. I'm not hounding myself to do X and X to make sales. Instead, I'm creating what I want. And with that, I'm naturally make more of it because I like to do it. And some of them will sell, or I'll get commissioned to do a custom design from someone who genuinely likes my style and authentic work. I don't have to constantly stress over it anymore. I'm just writing it out and vibing. And not only did I adopt a new mentality around my illustration and processes through that flow, I've discovered what techniques and subjects that I'm more passionate about than others, what works for me, what I genuinely like to look at, and what actions I genuinely like to do. And through trial and error and just creating, I've discovered that I love paintings. I love looking at them. I love artists who paint. It's gorgeous. But when it comes down to it, for me, and the action of drawing is just so much more fun to me. The medium is fun to me. Painting is not fun to me. Like, a little bit here and there, but sitting for like 20 hours on a painting, no, not for me. I watched a recent YouTube video. I can't remember who said it because I watch a lot of different creators, but they spoke about how you can like something, and just because you like it, it doesn't mean you have to make it your content. It doesn't mean you have to do it. You can like and appreciate something without feeling like that's the stuff I need to make. And that discussion really resonated with me because I spent the last decade trying to find my style and my craft through a lot of experimenting. And I would never have gotten this confident in my own abilities and confident in just knowing who I am, but also like what my style is, what I like to do, what sets me apart from others. I wouldn't have gotten here if I didn't just keep on creating for me. And so, like, for you, allow yourself that time and freedom to really just create things that you like and discover what process you like more, discover what mediums you like more, discover like what styles you like more in your craft. Then you can like truly find what works for you and what you genuinely enjoy doing versus like doing a medium or using a medium or doing a technique that you just absolutely hate. I mean, there's a difference between like, oh, this is hard, but I really like it versus like, oh, I've got it down, but like, that ain't it. There's a difference. And with all of that, I've grown more confident in my artwork. Before I started my tattoo apprenticeship, I would only post my finished, perfect work online. I had this self-imposed fear barrier that didn't let me share my creations freely, partly because I was afraid of criticism and rejection. But since I've embraced a new mentality around my work, I've grown more comfortable in my own abilities. I share my work all the time, regardless if it's perfect or not. There's no such thing as perfect. Art is very subjective as well. There's no right or wrong. You just gotta make. When you start creating from your flow, you eventually develop your skills to a higher level. You get faster at certain actions, you can do more difficult techniques because of your understanding in your craft grew with your natural inclination to actually want to create. Next thing you know, you've got 5 paintings completed when you were in your zone versus just 1 done when you kept second guessing yourself and trying to make things look perfect according to this imaginary standard that you set for yourself, trying to fit into this imaginary box. Okay, so now let's say you've been creating from the heart for a while now and you've grown your skill. You want to start selling your art without actually selling your soul. It's a fine balance, but what I've found that works for me is when you see a trend in your preferred medium, only recreate the ones that you actually like. Kind of like when you see a painting of celebrities that is like trending right now, don't just paint whoever is the hottest talk of the tabloids. Paint a celebrity that you actually connect with. Maybe it's your favorite musician or comedic actor. Maybe fairy tattoos are super trendy right now and you love fairies, but instead of making the dainty fine line fairies that is everywhere in your feed, you want to draw a fairy in your own style and lean into your uniqueness. Maybe you like to do American traditional tattoos. Make an American traditional fairy. I don't really see a lot of those, so that would actually stand out. Honestly, I like to treat everything like a draw this in your style challenge, like literally. A great example is when the new Zelda The Tears of the Kingdom game came out. I was super hyped for it, and I drew up a whole flash sheet of the little Karoks, little dudes. I personally have a connection to Karoks in particular. I love that they're just little forest spirits who protect their forest home. Now, I'm a huge nature lover, and I feel like a forest would be my natural habitat. So it naturally resonates with them. And in the first game, Breath of the Wild, I spent more time chasing down Korok seeds more than anything else in the game. Like, I said, F off Ganon, I'm looking for some seeds. So when it came time to draw a new flash sheet, with no hesitation, I drew up a bunch of custom Korok designs in my own style. And guess what? They all sewed, every single one of them. Some people even commissioned me to come up with a new design especially for them, and I made decent money from all of it. And this is just a result from sustained conscious passion in my work that led me to creating things that I genuinely liked, that grew my skills, that grew an audience, and people who liked those things and my style that eventually actually paid me for my work. And I really think that is a universal domino effect that every artist could experience. You just have to keep creating and keep creating for you to naturally grow your skills and your understandings in your own craft of choice. And with time and persistence of you putting yourself out there, you will find your natural audience and you will have the opportunities to make that sale. And I've just gotta say, this isn't me trying to be all, oh, my art is so authentic and it's so awesome. No. I am just trying to share my experience and hope that it maybe could shed some light or, just give you that extra push in the direction that you've been wanting to go in or don't even know that you can go in. Also, I don't really have like a following. I'm not viral. I'm like nobody. I'm just the everyday person. I'm just like you. I only have like under 4K followers on Instagram and like less than 200 subscribers on YouTube. Even with that, I still get to create art that I'm passionate about and I get consistent sales. Like I'm able to pay my bills with what I'm doing. And that's enough for me. Like if I don't need 1,000,000 subscribers, I don't need a billion views or whatever. But if it happens, it happens. Awesome. I am pretty content with being able to just pay my bills and, buy something nice now and then. And maybe that's enough for you too. But I feel like this realization really helped me push me to where I needed to be in this place in my life. And I feel like maybe some of you might need to hear this. So yeah, I'm sharing it to you. If any of this resonated with you or if you wanted to share an experience, comment below to add to the discussion. Like this video. But yeah, until next time, YouTube. Thanks for chilling.